Hi, my name's Phil. I like talking about politics, and for the second time today, I'm going to be discussing a couldn't make it up moment of British political life. The Daily Express. It's one of those Tory client media outlets that's been attacking the strikes and those on strike. It's a paper aimed at the working classes, but which seeks to persuade them to vote against their own interests by accepting that they should consider themselves a little better than slaves. So it's run a number of stories attacking the idea of strike action, and this Friday its staff are, you got it, they're going on strike. But first, if you'd like to be notified of daily news and politics, please subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification icon. So with the wide range of strikes underway right now, the Tories and their client media seek to make it a party political issue. They've even tried to call them Labour strikes, despite Labour not having been in power for over a decade now. But there's nothing necessarily political about industrial action. I mean, yes, many union leaders push political campaigns as well. Several are affiliated with the Labour Party. But the purpose of industrial action is ultimately to protect your job, your pay, your working conditions. And Tories like to have a job, an income, and a decent working environment as well. In fact, the latest strike news is that the Criminal Bar Association are escalating their strike action. From the end of this week, they're on strike indefinitely. Their position is that they do not go back until Dominic Raab fixes the justice system that his party broke. They may have to wait a while. Raab is doing even less work than usual and surely knows he's probably not going to be in the job more than a few weeks anyway. He's a big supporter, big vocal supporter of Rishi Sunak and continues to back him, as far as I can tell. It's possible, I suppose, that Liz Truss will keep him where he is, but it would probably be unexpected. But this is criminal barristers we're talking about. Sure, despite popular opinion, there are plenty of socialists amongst their number, but it is not a profession that you associate with left-wing militants, is it? Barristers wearing horsehair wigs and big black capes. Yet they've gone on strike. And it's the most robust strike of any of the sectors currently taking industrial action. It's just not getting as much attention in the news because it doesn't fit the media narrative, does it, for the culture wars? But another strike of note is that workers at the Daily Express, as well as other newspapers in the groups, but the other newspapers haven't been anti-strike as such, they're going on strike this Friday over low pay. Because that's what the strikes are really about. The reason there are not only people on strike right now, but that this action is spilling out across so many sectors of our economy is because wages have been stagnating for so long that it was almost impossible to make ends meet. Now we've got huge inflation levels, so almost impossible has turned into actually impossible. So the reasons for such wide-ranging strike action is simple necessity. This is why it's covering so many professions, some of whom don't really do strikes. It's no surprise at all that it's coming at a time when we have rampant inflation and a government whose ministers can't even be asked to turn up to negotiations as well. But then you see workers at the Daily Express going on strike. And they're going on strike for exactly the same reasons as everyone else is going on strike. Low pay during a cost of living crisis. Doesn't that just show that there's nothing necessarily political about this? That anyone trying to make it political is just crowbarring their own agenda into the situation. It's one of these things. It is political, but it doesn't have to be. It's a bit like when COVID started, and I did some videos on it. People feel it's not a political issue. Don't make a political issue of it. I wasn't. It wasn't me that made it a political issue. I just commented on it. It was the government that made it a political issue. But these people, going back to the Daily Express, these people whose day job it is to come up with headlines attacking strike action, they're not above the same sort of action when it comes to being able to pay their own bills, I see. Because everyone needs to stand up for their pay and working conditions from time to time, even Tories. At the start of summer, as we were just gearing up for major industrial action, Michael Gove, along with a load of other Tories, was attacking the strike action. Well, Lisa Nandy, his opposite number in Labour, pointed out that Gove was no stranger to a picket line himself. This photo soon was started doing the rounds. It's of journalists taking taking strike action a few decades ago, and there at the front is one Michael Gove. The bottom line is that industrial action isn't party political. It's not even left or right wing as such. It's obviously more associated with the left, but that's only because most people whose income isn't in the form of wages are on the right wing of politics. It's not because the concept of trying to get a better wage is itself left wing. But when it comes down to it, when someone feels that their wages don't let them meet the cost of living, they fight for better pay. When someone feels that their working conditions are being made worse without justification, they'll fight to preserve those conditions. When someone feels that their job is under threat completely for no good reason, they'll fight to save it. Doesn't matter what your politics is. That's how everyone will behave under the same circumstances. And this is being ably demonstrated in our second you couldn't make it up moment of British politics today, as the workers pushing an anti-strike agenda at the Daily Express go on strike themselves. Welcome to Britain. Please leave your brain with customs for safekeeping. You won't be needing it on your visit. You can collect it again on your way out. But those are my thoughts. Let me know yours in the comments below. I hope you found the video interesting. If you did, please click the like button. And if you'd like to support the channel further, the join button for memberships. And until next time, I'll see you later.